By the time the sun rose in Madrid, the air itself felt charged. Radios crackled. Phones refused to hold charge. Old analog clocks ticked out of rhythm. Something unseen buzzed just beneath the skin of the world. Elara hadn't slept again. She couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw him, no longer just in flashes or vague dream logic, but vividly, lucidly. She dreamed of long hallways made of light, of touching his face, of standing beside him in a field as fire rained from the sky, and all she felt was peace. She'd never experienced lucid dreaming before, but now it happened nightly. And every time, the dreams grew more sensual, more urgent. She'd wake breathless, flushed. Then she noticed that strange occurrences were piling up. The power in her building flickered every time she plugged in her phone. Street lamps popped when she passed beneath them. Her favorite mirror cracked straight down the center as she brushed her hair. Children in the plaza would pause their games when she passed, eyes wide, tracking her like they were trying to remember a dream she'd just walked out of. Dogs often howled from balconies the moment she turned onto the street, not in fear, but in eerie recognition, as if mourning something they couldn't name. Meanwhile, her online followers ballooned. Strangers messaged her their dreams. One woman said she'd seen Elara in a past life as a warrior queen. Another sent a photo of an ancient carving from India that resembled one of her paintings, almost exactly. Elara couldn't explain it. Reality was fraying at the edges, and yet, for the first time, she felt clear. Awake. Alive. Then one night, a black cat appeared on her windowsill, silent, still, as if it had always known the way. Elara blinked in disbelief. She lived on the 3rd floor. There was no balcony, no fire escape, just sheer brick and open sky. The cat didn't meow, didn't flinch. It just sat there, watching her. Its eyes gleamed like wet onyx, deeper than shadow, as if holding a memory older than time. And when it purred, the sound was low and rhythmic, like a heartbeat, like a drum calling something home. She should have been unnerved, but instead, a strange ache bloomed in her chest. A tenderness, protective, fierce, maternal. She didn't understand it. Why her arms suddenly longed to hold it. Why her throat tightened like she'd missed it for lifetimes. The cat came back the next night, and the next. Always without a sound. Always staring at her like it knew secrets she hadn't yet remembered. By the 7th night, Elara gave in. She left the window open and whispered.
Okay, you can stay.
The cat stepped inside like it had been waiting for her permission. It leapt onto the bed, circled once, then curled on her pillow, right beside her head. As she lay down, heart oddly full, the name came to her unbidden.
Leo.
She murmured, and the cat purred in reply. Thousands of miles away, in the humming depths of CERN in Geneva, Dr. Layla Amanzar had just dropped her coffee. She stared at her terminal screen in disbelief. There, on a trending news page, open in another tab, the sketch, and next to it, him, Kai Mizunari. The name clicked into place like a puzzle piece she'd never known was missing. Layla stared at the screen, jaw tight, heart thudding. All this time, all the loneliness, all the skepticism from her peers. She was right, and the world had no idea what was coming. She hadn't believed it, not truly, until now. She enlarged the image of Elara's sketch and overlaid it with brainwave data she'd logged from psychic hotspots across the globe. The match in frequency patterns wasn't just eerie, it was precise. And then she noticed it. Since the sketch went viral, the Schumann resonance, a set of global electromagnetic frequencies, had spiked. People weren't just watching a love story unfold, they were feeling it. Layla stared at the data, her knuckles white around the mug she hadn't sipped from in hours. Her lab was dim now, screens flickering like the breath of some sentient machine, graphs and coded alerts dancing across the walls in silent panic. And then it happened. The emergency broadcast override hit every device in the building. A red alert message blinked across her monitor. Global system warning. Planetary collapse imminent. 13 days remain. No known prevention or solution. She didn't breathe. Couldn't. It wasn't even the message about the world ending in 13 days that made her pulse race. It was what she saw on the screen. 2 golden pulses, rising in tandem. Mirrored, perfectly synced. Not chaotic, but harmonic. As if the earth itself had split in 2 and was now trying to stitch itself back together through them. A frequency signature, unlike anything ever recorded in human history. The answer wasn't in the warning. It was already glowing in front of her. It wasn't a theory anymore. The data was irrefutable. Subtle stabilization of polar anomalies, fluctuations in the Schumann resonance over Spain and Japan, bursts of biophotonic activity in the upper atmosphere, and a complete reversal of entropy in test samples placed near artificially generated harmonic tones. And Kai and Alara hadn't even touched yet. That's when it hit her like a lightning bolt to the soul. Their union wasn't just symbolic, it was biological. Their love, true, surrendered, divine, would generate a frequency that could restore the planet's field. But it had to be complete, not half-measured, not just emotional. They had to physically unite. And not just that, they had to conceive. Layla stumbled backward from her console, heart pounding, her entire body vibrating with the magnitude of the revelation. A child, born from their union, forged in the frequencies of apocalypse and love. This child, just one, could carry the harmonic resonance of both flame bearers. A frequency beyond what Earth had ever held before. Not just a new life, a new timeline, a new chance. The divine spark that would ripple outward, undoing the decay that had wrapped itself around humanity like a noose. This was why every ancient story ended with a child, why mythology spoke of miracle births, why saviors were born in ruins. Because the energy of rebirth could only come from love that defied extinction. Elara Montes and Kai Mizunari were more than human. She was sure of it. They were the original frequency, split in 2, the first lovers, Adam and Eve, Shiva and Kali, Inanna and Dumuzi, Isis and Osiris, Quetzalcoatl and Mayahuel. The names changed. The function did not. They were the beginning. And if they were brave enough, if they surrendered to their love in full, they could be the beginning again. But if they hesitated, if fear, fame, ego, or pain kept them apart, if conception never occurred, the collapse would be unstoppable. Layla pressed trembling fingers to her lips, tears brimming at the edges of her lashes. All her research, all the years of ridicule, her own lonely life of monastic devotion to data and forgotten myths. Now she knew why she'd waited, why she'd never fallen in love or started a family. This was her purpose, to guide them, to protect the timeline, to make sure it happened. She had to find them. In person, immediately, because the world wasn't going to be saved by politics or money or war. It was going to be saved by 2 people coming together, body and soul, in the most ancient way imaginable. And the child they created would be the harmonic pulse that rewrote everything. Layla whispered to the screen, where the mirrored frequencies burned brighter by the hour.
Please, Don't resist it. Don't wait.
She had to get to Madrid, and she had to make them understand. The world depended on their love, and their child was the key to its rebirth. Kai didn't tell anyone why he suddenly flew to Madrid. Only Toma knew the truth, because he was the one who suggested it. Officially, it was location scouting for an independent art house film. Unofficially, he was following a feeling that threatened to consume him. Toma, bless him, had booked the flight within minutes of Kai whispering, "I have to see her." It wasn't easy. With the Earth's frequencies thrown off kilter by whatever invisible current was rising across the globe, global air traffic had become erratic. Flights were delayed, rerouted, grounded altogether. Solar flares, magnetic interference, inexplicable cloud anomalies. No one had a solid explanation. Except one route. Somehow, the air corridor between Tokyo and Madrid remained unusually calm. Even the crew aboard their chartered jet commented on it, joking nervously mid-flight. Seems like this is the only route people actually enjoy flying these days. Weird, huh? Toma noticed it too. Kai caught the quiet glance between the captain and co-pilot before takeoff. No turbulence charts. No warnings. Just a strange green-lit path over the globe like something was clearing space just for them. They had no idea that thousands of miles away, Dr. Layla Amanzar had just confirmed it in her Geneva lab. The electromagnetic band connecting Japan to Spain was pulsing with harmonics, receptive, soft, open. It was as if the Earth itself wanted this union, as if it had cleared a path, and now they were on it. Still, it was a long flight, nearly 14 hours in the air, somewhere above the Atlantic, with nothing to do but think. Toma sat beside Kai, scrolling his iPad absently, earbuds in, face lit by the screen's glow. Then he paused, blinked, and pulled one bud out.
Well,
He said dryly, like he was commenting on a weather app.
looks like the world's ending in 13 days.
Kai turned his head slowly.
What?
Toma angled the screen toward him. A breaking headline stretched across the glowing tablet. Scientists warn, 13 days until global collapse. No explanation given,
Just dropped.
Toma said, shrugging.
Press conference was unplanned. CERN's name is all over it.
Kai stared, but the words didn't land. Not really. Not when all he could think about was her. The woman waiting on the other side of this flight. The one whose pulse echoed his own. Around them, murmurs rippled through the cabin. Someone gasped behind them. Others craned over seatbacks, whispering in clipped, uncertain tones. The news was spreading through the plane like a silent fever, carried by in-flight Wi-Fi and nervous thumbs. But Kai barely noticed. He tilted his head back against the seat, eyes closed, jaw tight. If the world was ending, there was only one thing he needed to do before it did. They touched down in Madrid under an alias. The airport was tight with quiet tension. Police in the halls, masked passengers murmuring under flickering lights. Some were praying, others partying. Most just waiting, as if Earth's stillness had reached their bones. Kai stepped off the plane and into the Spanish spring air, the wind brushing his skin like a whisper. Then he felt it. He felt her, or something like her, an invisible thread yanking taut inside his chest, immediate and electric. He inhaled sharply through his teeth, bracing against the dizzying pull. It was like gravity had changed direction, like something inside him was being drawn forward, irresistibly, undeniably. A quiet, high-pitched groan escaped before he could stop it. Toma raised an eyebrow.
You good?
Kai barely nodded, voice low and dazed.
Yeah. It's like I can feel her already.
Toma grinned, leaning in with mock seduction.
Oh, exciting.
Kai didn't laugh. He couldn't, because it wasn't funny. It wasn't just jet lag or nerves. There was something else in the air, a presence, a pulse, as if the land itself recognized him, as if it had been waiting. The streets outside the airport shimmered in Madrid's spring haze. The air wrapped around him like silk, warm, thick with sunlight, dust, and blood oranges. Wildflowers bloomed somewhere close. But beneath it all, there was another scent. Older, wiser. It smelled like memory, like prophecy, like secrets aching to be remembered. He walked without a map, through sun-warmed alleys of the Lavapiés district, past hanging laundry and cracked tiles, letting instinct lead. He wasn't searching. He was listening. He passed a fruit stand stacked with velvet peaches and remembered tasting them here as a teen during a press junket. Another memory of odd peace in Spain. He saw a cracked mosaic tiled into a stairwell and nearly doubled over with déjà vu. It wasn't memory. It was recognition, as if he was seeing the world through her eyes. Ilara had vanished from the internet. No new posts, no stories, nothing since that painting of him. That worried him. That thrilled him. She was near. He could feel it. He paused outside a small gallery tucked into a quiet street, the air thick with turpentine and old varnish. He stepped forward, heart pounding. But just then, a group of drunk tourists spilled into the alley, jostling past, snapping photos and blocking his view. One of them, an American in a bright yellow YOLO shirt, laughed as he pointed to the sky.
Dude, if the world's ending, at least I died in Europe with good wine and better lighting.
Another chimed in, holding up a half-melted gelato.
Make sure you get my apocalypse angle. If I'm going down hot.
Their voices bounced off the walls, breaking the silence like shattered glass. The spell was broken. Kai blinked and moved on. Across the street, Ilara stepped out of a narrow art supply shop, arms full of fresh brushes and a tin of black pigment tucked beneath her elbow. The bell above the door jingled shut behind her as she blinked into the sunlight, disoriented. It felt ridiculous, buying paint when the world was ending. But what else was she supposed to do? Wring her hands in a spiral of doom scrolling? Collapse in the street? No. If time was truly running out, she'd meet it with stained fingers, with color, with creation. It was the only thing that had ever made sense. But then it hit her. A sudden weight, hot, electric, heavy, pressed down on her body like invisible hands. She gasped, stopped walking. Her pulse skyrocketed. Her knees wobbled. A wave of energy surged through her spine, curling low in her belly, with something between panic and arousal. A soft, involuntary moan escaped her lips. Not loud, but loud enough. Heads turned. A couple glanced over.
What the fuck was that?
She whispered to herself, eyes wide. She hugged her supplies tighter to her chest like a shield and stumbled forward, flushed and breathless. Her messy bun had slipped to one side, and a streak of charcoal dusted her cheek like a bruise. She kept walking, trying to regulate her breath, shaking her head as if she could throw off whatever had just gripped her. It wasn't stress. It wasn't fear. It was him, though she hadn't seen him yet. Not in real life. But something inside her had just answered. And it was like the sky had cracked open again, just for her. And Kai, he had already walked on. They missed each other. By a breath. For now. And on a cosmic level, the world was watching.